Good evening and welcome to this edition of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. For the past many weeks, Kashmiri Pandits, the very same people who have been a subject of great discourse for the Bharatiya Janata Party, for the central government, for the Lieutenant Governor in J&K, have been protesting. Lots has been said that a lot is being done for you. But these Kashmiri Pandits are being subjected to terror attacks. Almost on a daily basis, we get to hear reports of targeted killings, targeted attacks against members of not just this community, but Kashmiris. Many Muslims are also dying. But there is no end to this targeted killing. All that people get are assurances. Until then, there is another targeted killing. This list is growing longer and longer and longer. And now many of these Kashmiri Pandits stand disillusioned. They feel that their voice is not being heard. Suddenly, a lot that was said and done in their name, they find no friends in political dispensation in New Delhi. So is New Delhi not listening to the Mann ki Baat of the Kashmiri Pandits? And has the central government failed these Kashmiri Pandits for them to become victims of targeted attack? Let's first listen in to what Delhi Chief Minister today, Arvind Kejriwal, he's not a stakeholder in Jammu and Kashmir, but he said something pertinent. He said, let us hope that we do not end up in a situation like the 1990s.
आज कश्मीरी पंडित बहुत दुखी हैं। उनकी सरकार से सिर्फ एक ही मांग है, आतंकवादियों से उन्हें सुरक्षा दी जाए, उन्हें सिक्योरिटी चाहिए। कश्मीरी पंडित वापस हिम्मत करके कश्मीर में जाके बसे थे, वहाँ जाके उन्होंने अपना घर बसाया, लेकिन अब उनके साथ वही हो रहा है जो 90 के दशक में हुआ था। उन्हें चुन चुन के उनके घर में घुस के, उनके दफ्तर में घुस के सड़कों पे निशाना बनाया जा रहा है, उन्हें मारा जा रहा है। ये अमानवीय है, इंसानियत के खिलाफ है, देश के खिलाफ है।
Let's quickly go back to that story. Has the central government failed the Kashmiri Pandits? I would like to welcome our guests, Shweta and Ankaj, our Kashmiri Pandits, who are of course part of the PM package. They are employees of the Kashmir division. They were also colleagues of Rahul Bhatt. We have Mohit Bhan, spokesperson of the PDP, Ranbir Singh Pathania, spokesperson of the BJP, Sushil Pandit is the founder of Roots in Kashmir, Ifra Jan is the spokesperson of Jammu and Kashmir National Conference, PKD Nambiar is a political analyst, supports the BJP. Thank you very much. It's an important discussion. First question straight away to Shweta and Ankaj. Why is it that you feel right now that the central government has left Kashmiri Pandits to fend for themselves?
Sir, one thing I would like to clear here, the rehabilitation package which was given to us, it wasn't actually the rehabilitation package. I will clearly say it was just the economic package. Because हम अभी तक rehabilitate यहाँ पे नहीं हुए हैं, हमें just jobs दे दी गई, accommodation इन 12 सालों में हम लोगों को provide नहीं की गई, हमें एक बॉन्ड साइन करने को बोला गया था कि आपको वैली में ही सर्व करना पड़ेगा, whatever the conditions may be, आपको बॉन्ड साइन करवाया गया। हम लोगों को एक्चुअली उस टाइम पे पता नहीं था, बिकॉज हम लोग यहाँ पे वैली में सर्व करने के लिए आए थे अपनी मदर लैंड को। 90s में क्या हुआ वो आप लोगों को बहुत अच्छे से पता है सबको। तो इसलिए आफ्टर 30 इयर्स हम लोग रेडी थे कि चलिए अब वापस हम अपनी मदर लैंड को सर्व करने जाएंगे। तो आई कैन से फोर्सफुली वो बॉन्ड साइन करवाया गया, हम लोगों को क्लियरली नहीं पता था। हमने बॉन्ड साइन किया कि हम लोग वैली में सर्व करेंगे, गवर्नमेंट ने प्रोमिसेस किए थे। इनफैक्ट वी कैन से कि उन्होंने भी एक बॉन्ड ही साइन किया था हमारे साथ कि आपको हम अकोमोडेशन देंगे और सेफ एनवायरनमेंट प्रोवाइड करेंगे, बट सेफ एनवायरनमेंट तो है ही नहीं सर। जैसे कि आप किलिंग्स देख रहे हैं राहुल भट्ट जी की, और उसके बाद अभी रजनी बालाजी की, और इस दौरान बहुत सारी किलिंग्स ऑलरेडी हो चुकी हैं। तो सेफ तो यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं है, और रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोसेस जो था वो टोटली फेल्ड है, क्योंकि इन 12 सालों में हमें कुछ भी नहीं मिला।
श्योर अंकज, व्हाट इज योर व्यू? डू यू आल्सो फील द सेम?
मैं 2010 में अपॉइंट हुआ हूँ यहाँ पे एज जूनियर इंजीनियर, और ड्यूरिंग 2010 से मैं यहाँ काम कर रहा हूँ। मैंने साउथ कश्मीर में भी सर्व किया है 8-10 साल, बट ऐसी कंडीशंस मैंने आज तक कभी नहीं देखी हैं। इतने बुरे हालात मैंने कभी नहीं देखे हैं। मैंने बुरहान वानी इंसिडेंट के टाइम भी यहाँ पे सर्व किया है, मैं जम्मू नहीं भागा था तब, बट ऐसे कंडीशंस, ऐसी टेररिज्म जो यहाँ पे अभी है, मैंने अपनी इन 10-12 सालों में मैंने नहीं देखा कभी। मैं अपनी मदरलैंड को सर्व करने आया था, मैंने लैंग्वेज भी यहीं आके सीखी कश्मीरी, बट पता नहीं अब पिछले 2-2.5 सालों से ऐसे हालात बने कि हमारा बाहर निकलना भी मुश्किल है। मैं साइट पे कैसे जाऊं? मैं इंजीनियर हूं स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट में, मैं कैसे साइट विजिट करूं? मेरी फार फ्लंग साइट्स हैं कहीं पे, मैं कैसे उनको विजिट करूं? मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अभी तक क्यों नहीं अभी तक बोल पा रही है। एटलीस्ट होम मिनिस्ट्री से एक ट्वीट आ सकता था हमारे लिए, वो तक नहीं आया। 12 सालों में हमें ना एकोमोडेशंस दी गई, हमारे को एट पार विद अदर एम्प्लॉयज नहीं माना जाता है, प्रमोशंस में हमारे को सीनियरिटीज में अलग कर दिया गया, कहीं हमारा कोई सुनने वाला नहीं है। मतलब ऐसी कंडीशन से गुजर रहे हैं कि आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे, हम मजबूर हैं यहाँ फिर से कश्मीर को छोड़ने के लिए। और हम बेशक वहां जम्मू में जाके कुछ और काम कर लेंगे, रेड़ा चला लेंगे, कुछ और कर लेंगे, बट यहाँ रहना हमारे लिए अब इम्पॉसिबल हो चुका है। और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो सीरियस हैं, और वो आंखें बंद करके बैठी हुई। मेरी हाथ जोड़ के सबसे विनती है, सारे मिनिस्टर से, सारे सीएम से, एमपी से, जर्नलिस्ट से, हमें यहाँ से बचाओ। कश्मीर में टेररिज्म अभी अपने पीक पे है। अगर आपने लेटेस्ट रॉ चीफ का एक्स रॉ चीफ का इंटरव्यू सुना होगा द वायर पे, उन्होंने बोला कि ये अपने पीक पे है अभी मिलिटेंसी, टेररिज्म एक्सट्रीम लेवल पे है। AK-47 का कल्चर खत्म हो चुका है, यहाँ पे अब चाइनीज पिस्टल आ चुके हैं। हम इतने डरे हुए हैं, हम अपने बच्चों को बाहर नहीं ले। आप रिसेंटली देखिए पुलिस वालों पे, उनके बच्चों पे फायर तक है। मुझे नहीं लगता सीरिया और अफगानिस्तान में भी ऐसा टेररिज्म होगा जैसा अभी करंटली कश्मीर में है, और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट आंखें बंद करके बैठी हुई।
Sushil Pandit, I want to come to you now. You see, Shweta and Ankaj, what they are telling us seems to be what they're feeling right now. And this is a feeling which is resonating among a cross section of Kashmiri Pandits, where they feel so vulnerable that they do not know. They do not know what is going to happen. So this is not some big blast which will kill hundreds in one go. This is targeted killing. Sushil Pandit, do you think that the central government has done enough to the pleas?
No, as is evident, nothing has been done so far, except for the assurances to keep patience and wait for another murder, another gruesome killing, and then keep patience, and the cycle continues. As was very rightly said at the very beginning of the program, what is touted as a rehabilitation package was actually an employment package. Why do we call it rehabilitation package? This was an employment package to address destitution among those who were the victims of genocide, and also to correct an imbalance in the state's employment, because we were discriminated against through the decades, and there was a near extinction of all Kashmiri Pandit employees in the ranks and file of state administration. It was our right. So this right was somehow partially restored and our destitution addressed, but using this destitution to push us back in a death trap, just to satisfy the urge of some politician or some policy maker that Kashmir needs to be turned into a secular utopia, which it never was. just to create a semblance of secularism. There was a make-believe world sought to be recreated by pushing those very people who somehow escaped genocide 32 years back without addressing the basic issue why they escaped 32 years back, which was a threat to their life. We had our jobs, we had our homes, we had our business and our life in Kashmir. The reason why we left was not for the lack of jobs. We left for the lack of security. Have you addressed that issue?
And that
before
issue
pushing
still
us back?
remains
No.
unanswered and unaddressed right now. That's the point that Sushil Pandit seems to be making. Ranveer Singh Pathania, you've heard 3 Kashmiri Pandits, 2 who are serving there right now. You know, assurances are not really working, Mr. Pathania, because they're victims of targeted killing.
Sanket, first of all, with all pain and sympathy, I express my deepest condolences with the bereaved families. All come. We shouldn't put the entire weight, though we are more concerned and we are committed to afford a sense of security to each and every resident of Jammu and Kashmir, and with special reference to my dear brothers, sisters, my elders, my dear Kashmiri Pandit brothers. But we shouldn't put the entire, we could say, weight, entire pan in the central government's, all guilt lie with central government. We should try to understand this is a new type of warfare which the neighboring country has resorted to. There's a Chinese proverb: you kill one and you scare 100. This is what they want to do. You see, since 5th of August 2019, there has been
Mr.
a
Pathania,
considerable...
what do you expect the Kashmiri Pandits there to do? That's my question.
Sir, my respectful submission.
You know, I understand that there is, but then questions will be asked of you. Who's in charge in Jammu and Kashmir right now?
Sir, my respectful submission is that we need to fight it out. We need to fight it out, the new hybrid warfare which has been resorted to by
How,
the
I ask?
Sir,
Where is the assurance of safety?
This is a battle of ideas, and this is a battle of nerves also for all of us. We shouldn't resort to the same, just run away from this thing. We need to fight it out. And you see,
Exactly. I'm asking you how. Like, for instance, what do you want to tell Shweta and Ankaj?
Sir, with due respect to each and every, my dear Kashmiri Pandit employee, and the one Rajni Bala, she's from Jammu. She was not a Kashmiri Pandit. She was a scheduled caste lady from Samba who got a job against a reserve category post in the Valley of Kashmir. So my specific message to each and every resident of Kashmir, may he be a Kashmiri Pandit, may he be a man from or man or woman from Jammu who has got a job in Kashmir on a reserve post, and against each and every belt force, may he be Saifullah Qadri, may she be Amreen Bhatt, may he be Satish Singh from Kulgam. My respectful submission that what the neighboring country has resorted to a new sort of warfare, that is hybrid warfare. They want to kill one, they scare 100. We need to fight it out. So first of all, now you say how? How? First of all, we shouldn't say simply run away and eat everything. This is not the case. This is not the case. This is not the case that Kashmir has become a cauldron of militancy. All over militants are roaming and all. They are executing these individual incidents.
Sushil Pandit, what did you say? I think you quoted Imran Khan.
Yes.
What did you say? Can I hear that again?
हमें घबराना नहीं है.
That's it. We need not run away. We should not create a sort of.
I hope you know. I hope you know that this is not something. He's not. वो आपकी हाँ में हाँ नहीं मिला रहे पठानिया जी. That's a message for the central government that you are talking like Imran Khan did.
Absolutely.
आपने घबराना नहीं है. And then what happened?
My absolute. This is what they want to do. I said a Chinese proverb: they kill one and scare 100. They want to.
No, see, the point is, Mr. Pathania,
they want to create a sense of security. They want to create a sense of scare, sir. Sir, my respectful submission, which each and everybody should come to understand. Since 5th of August 2019, there has been a considerable decline in the number of foreign mercenaries in Kashmir. Number of foreign mercenaries have been done to death. There have been now this new hybrid warfare with small weapons.
Then my question is, why couldn't you preempt?
Wipe it out also,
if
sir.
there is a hybrid warfare, I want to go to Mohit
Yes.
Bhan. Mohit Bhan, do you
Yes.
feel then again, who are you asking these questions to or questions of? इतने साल से वहां पर आपकी सरकार है भाई. Had this been Rajasthan, I would have asked Mr. Gehlot. In UP, Yogi Adityanath. As a peculiar sort of arrangement in Jammu and Kashmir, it has a lieutenant governor, which means it is centrally governed. So the questions will be asked of you. So if there is a new sort of warfare, then why was it not preempted? Where was the intelligence?
You see, Sanket, in almost each and every incident,
Sanket,
Yeah,
the
question
perpetrator-
for Mohit Bhan, and
we have
then I'll
heard
come
you
back to
very
you.
patiently.
Mohit Bhan.
Mr. Pradhan, we have heard. See, Sanket, we have to get to the root cause of the problem. The root of the problem here has been the conflict, has been the Kashmir issue, per se. See, we have been shouting our lungs out from past 4 years that the situation and the environment here is not conducive and the militancy is on rise. On the contrary, there was an argument given to us, the stone pelting has gone down. There are no hartals happening on Friday. There is no hartal happening on, on the death of any militant and all that. And they were giving the semblance of normalcy by all these things. Unfortunately, it has taken the death of Rajni Bala and Rahul Bhatt to wake up the conscience of so many fellow citizens to see that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is not normal. 10 lakh tourists coming here and, inauguration of these projects and bridges and maximization of roads is not the sign of normalcy. The sign of normalcy would have been that if there were not targeted killings. We have seen agitations at its peak during Burhan Wani's killing in 2017, 2018, but not a single minority was touched at that time. Not a single minority, especially this PM package, people were killed at that time. So it is a complete surrender and failure of this system. And, they have got no clue what is happening on ground.
To turn around now and say that this is a new sort of warfare and you hang in there and we'll fight this together. The point is...
As we speak,
Yeah.
Sanket, as we speak, one Farooq Ahmed Sheikh has been shot at in Kigam in Shupain right now as we speak. So the situation is going from bad to worse. I would not say that when we were in government, there were, the situation was hunky-dory, but it was not as worse as it is. We have to revisit the policies that what was right at that time. We have to revisit the decisions taken at that time. And I've been repeatedly saying you will have to take a lot of stakeholders on board and, churn out a strategy to see that
Ifra as well as PKD Nambiar, their comments, and then Mr. Sushil
on all this issue.
Ifra, please. What is your view?
This is exactly what we had been as National Conference saying right from day one. And it actually took a dozen cold-blooded murders for the BJP government to get exactly what we had been saying, that there is no normalcy in Kashmir. Now, a lot of these Kashmiri Pandits who right now are protesting on roads, these were Kashmiri Pandits who had come back during the tenure of the National Conference government, especially when Umar Abdullah Sahab was the chief minister. These were people, whatever the situation was, I'm not saying it was hunky-dory ever, but whatever the situation was, these people did come back to the valley during our tenure. And right now, these Kashmiri Pandits, right under the nose of the BJP government, want to go back. So there is a second exodus happening right under the nose of the BJP government. And I would want to remind the audience that BJP government has been in power in Jammu and Kashmir for 8 years and in the center for 8 years. So they've cumulatively been in power for around 16 years if we check both the
But you did in
state and the
1990,
center.
madam. Please
Even
answer
then,
what you did in 1990. When the Kashmiri exodus happened, please explain 1990.
Okay.
What you are saying?
Sir, I will explain to you the 1990s.
Janata Party.
Yeah.
What your leaders did in
Let
1990.
me explain, sir.
Please
Yeah.
explain.
Okay, thank you. Let
Want
me
to know
explain
from
what
you.
happened in Okay, he said what happened in 1990. Farooq Abdullah Sahab had resigned in 1989, and it
No
was
issue.
the
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it was-
feared that we will start a history lesson over here. I frankly have very
Manmohan
limited time. If we
Malhotra
get
was
It was
to
post
the events of
1987.
1990, this is going to be a
Manmohan Malhotra
problem.
was the
Post-1987
People
election.
like Ankaj, do you really care? See, of course, terrible things happened in 1990. But should we resolve the problems of 2022 or revisit 1990?
मैं शॉर्ट में बोलता हूं, जो 90s में हुआ सेम अभी बीजेपी भी वैसे ही हैंडल कर रही है कश्मीर को। मुझे ग्राउंड लेवल पे सेंट्रल एजेंसीज मिसिंग लग रही हैं। मुझे बहुत ज्यादा डर लगता है। अब मैं बाहर नहीं निकल सकता, 2 दिन से मैं घर से बाहर नहीं निकला हूं। मुझे अब हर किसी पे यहाँ, जब एलजी साहब को अपनी शैडो से डर लगता है तो सर मेरी तो बात ही नहीं है। सर मैं तो एक आम आदमी हूं, यहाँ जॉब के लिए आया हूं, अपनी फैमिली को सर ये मैं अभी भी बोल रहा हूँ सर मैं एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से। सर ये गलत बोल रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे किलिंग्स अभी हुई हैं। सर आप यहाँ पे रिसेंटली सत्यपाल निश्चल जी की किलिंग हुई थी, जो गोल्ड स्मिथ थे लोकल। आकाश मेहरा, कृष्णा डाबा के उनके सन की, बिंद्रू साहब के बेटे की, बिंद्रू जी की, फिर अभी राहुल जी की, रजनी जी की, कादरी साहब की। त्राल में एक पुलिस पूरी फैमिली को खत्म कर दिया गया। ऐसा टेररिज्म यहाँ कभी नहीं था सर। मैंने नहीं देखा सर, मैंने 12 सालों में ऐसा नहीं देखा।
Yes, I get your point. PKD Nambiar, so here is the thing. Yes, a lot of, we see the name of Ghulam Hassan also, Amrina Bhatt also. But, you know, if at this moment, the Kashmiri Pandits feel that they are not safe, and they are saying that we are not safe, is the solution to lock them up in a transit camp? Or is the solution to bring them to safety till such time that you can figure out that this is a new form of warfare? And by not bringing them to safety, is this some sort of a political point that the government wants to prove? That no, this will be politically disastrous for a second exodus to happen. We don't want that kalank. So they should just hang in there. So what is more important, political positioning or safety?
It is very unfortunate, Sanket, despite many efforts by the government, central government, and a very good intent of making sure that all the Kashmiri Pandits have been rehabilitated or in whatever possible way. But I think that blaming that the terrorists have found a new way and they are doing it, I think it is the job of our security forces to ensure that all these Kashmiri Pandits, they are the son of the soil, they should be protected, given all those promises what any government has given, whether it is this government or the previous government. I think politics of just giving some kind of tokenism will not work. But we also need to understand this government has clearly shown done a large number of measures, including Article 370 abrogation.
No, Baba, again you have brought in Article 370. What does that have to you tell me? Mr. Nambiar, will you tell Mr. Ankaj and Shweta right now that be happy with Article 370?
My dear friend, what's precisely I said that the people who are on the ground, who do go through this care every day, I am with them, and the government, whether it is center, state, whomsoever, they should, this is the duty of them to protect. But what all I am talking about, the government has shown a good intent of making it sure that Kashmir becomes a terror-free and integral part of India.
Sir, what is the good intent here? What is the good intent here?
If your intentions could ensure that Rajan Bala remained alive,
as we speak, people are
if your intentions could ensure that Amrina Bhatt was alive,
intent of the government.
If the intentions would ensure that Rahul Bhatt was alive, these would have been good intentions.
Sanket,
but right now, you have a Shweta and an Ankaj who fear for their life.
Two political companies
and
which
that
are
is
running,
not good.
family private limited companies which are running, they are also one of the primary reason for this whole challenge. It's not only just the terrorism.
Okay,
enough of this rhetoric.
I've run out of time. The point is, enough of the rhetoric. No political positioning is required right now because people fear for their life. If there is a new warfare, questions will be asked on where your intelligence was when all of this was being done.